All right, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakat, Nadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who lead well and teach well, and honors to brothers who are bringing out this word in sincerity and in faith. All right, pushing this word across the four corners, man. All right, hey, Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Nadash brought the thumb until you sincere and you hope for a leg. And once again, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. So Salakia, I don't feel good at all, man. Um, but the Spirit put on me to basically go into this article right here about how you damn devils, your not only is your birth rate already low, but it's getting even lower. Now, as you know, Jake, right, Israel has a tremendous birth rate. Even though you continue to put us in harsh conditions, just like in the times of Egypt, you know, we were put in harsh conditions, but we continue to grow. And that's the same thing here in these times. All right. And your birth rate is starting to shrink. Which, like I said, see, I'm gonna just go into that. I'm gonna read it. It's like all right. So it says U.S. birth and fertility rates in 2020 dropped to another record low. TBT says it's really the birth and fertility rates of E. Right? Births fell for the sixth consecutive year to the lowest level since 1979. The U.S. birth rate is so low the nation is below replacement levels, meaning more people die every day than are being born. Okay, the water you have shot. That's a sign of the times that we up here, man. We're in the times of we about to be up out of here. Okay? It's right here. You got adult E. You got what's perceived to be baby E and baby and adult E. You know? Now these could be Jakes. These could be Jakes right here. But from what you see right here, this looks like E. All right. U.S. birth and fertility rates in 2020 dropped to another record low as births fell for the sixth consecutive year to the lowest level since 1979, according to new data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's National Center for Health Statistics. This is not somebody just saying this. Right? This is not just something that's just thrown out here. No, this is from the CDC, and the Prevention National Center for Health Statistics. So this is the nationally recognized board of doctors and scientists that have come to this conclusion. The number of births in the U.S. declined last year by 4% from 2019, double the average annual rate of decline of 2% since 2014. The CDC said in preliminary birth data released on Wednesday, so this is very recent. Total fertility rates and general fertility rates also declined by 4% since 2019. The U.S. birth rate is so low, the nation is below replacement levels, meaning more people die every day than are being born. While the agency didn't directly attribute the overall drop in births to the thing, it looked at birth rates among New York City women who delivered their babies outside the 5 boroughs during the height of the outbreak in the U.S. Women fled the city to give birth from March through November last year, with out-of-town births among NYC residents peaking in April and May at more than 10% for both months, and more than 70% increase from the previous year. All right, among so-called white women. Among so-called white women, the percentage of out-of-town births is 2.5 times higher in 2020 than 2019. Out of town births among so called black and so called Hispanic women were considerably lower and increased only for 2 of the months last year. Overall, the number of births declined 3% for Hispanic women and 4% for so called white and so called black women from 2019 to 2020. Teen birth rates dropped considerably, with births to 15 to 17-year-olds falling by 6% and 18 to 19-year-olds falling by 7%, both hitting record lows. Birth rates among women ages 20 to 24 and 25 to 29 dipped by 6% and 4%, respectively, both to record lows. And see, and that's because you women aren't able to, you know, go and thought about. Now, of course, these women still find a way to go out and lay with multiple men with these different uh, roadblocks in a way, so to speak. It's harder for them to do these things. A lot of these bars are closed, and they got curfews and stuff. So, you know, so even though it seems like there's less, um, even though it seems like there's less adultery, in spirit, we know that there's more adultery because now women come up with that phrase, sneaky links. All right, yeah, coming up with all these different terms, man. All right, because when I was coming up, we called it creeping. She on the creep. She bopping, man. These women are bopping. They're bopping from one man to the next man. All right. Birth rates fell by 4% and 2% respectively among women ages 30 to 34 and 35 to 39, but did not reach record lows according to CDC data. Birth rates for women ages 40 to 44 fell by 2% from 2019, but birth rates for women 45 and up remained unchanged. The data was based on population estimates derived from the 2010 census on July 1st, as well as counts of all birth records received and processed by the National Center for Health Statistics as of February 11th. The records represent nearly 100% of registered births occurring in 2020. Some experts say that a decline in birth rates could present a lack of vital resources like housing and food among those demographics, with correlations between the rise in unemployment rates and the decline in birth rates. Still, the future economic impact of the decline in birth rates is still debated. Yeah, because they don't want to admit the truth. You damn devils, you don't want to admit the truth. All right? Salakia. You don't want to admit that your birth rate is declining. The Lord is starting to produce, some of these last, you know, uh, the last of Eve, right? As far as them being, produced here on the earth. Now, obviously in the kingdom, you're going to have the people that are in slavery, right, giving birth to slaves. But as far as right now, you know, we're kind of at the, we're kind of like at the stopping, right, kind of like the stopping point of your birth rate, right? Because basically the last little bits of Generation Z and whatnot, are being born. Okay, speaking about here in America. Now I can imagine internationally, it's probably going up because how Jake is all across the world. Jake like to get it in. So if he don't have to work, he's getting unemployment. A lot of these countries, they're giving a substantial amount of unemployment. So they're able to do the different things that they want to do. And, pop women, man. And right here, if you read on the left right here, all right, it says Kelly Evans from bust to baby boom. So it's a baby boom for Jake. Yeah, all right, for E, your birth rate is slowing, man. right, so let's go here. I didn't plan on going to this, but go ahead. Woo! So this was updated 5 hours ago, man. Federal judge overturns national eviction ban. All right, federal judge struck down on Wednesday the national eviction moratorium. All right, that just reminded me. So it actually is two. These are two very bomb precepts. Let's start off with Hosea. Hosea chapter 9, verse 12. Though they bring up their children, yet will I bereave them. And it's like that. Yet will I bereave them. But there shall not be a man left. Yea, woe also to them when I depart from them. Yeah, so forget about it. Once the Lord takes away his hedge of protection, it's all gas, no brakes, like the elderly call likes to say, man. All right, he has a new channel, Howard West Coast 777. Just in case you've been looking for his videos. I was looking for his videos for a little minute. You wonder sometimes, where's this elder at? Where's this brother at? There's so many videos, so many channels are getting deleted. So like, yeah. So his channel once again is called the Howard West Coast 777. That's the elder you call I not based out of Sacramento. And so here's Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. Salaki. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. So yeah, you're taking all the other counsel. So you're looking towards the guy that's on the screen. You're looking towards E. Like he got all the answers. He don't have the answers, man. He does not have the answers. He don't know what the hell's going on. All right, he says, but not of me, right? How about you how to shine? Right? And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, right? So you're covering yourself with a wicked garment. Now you're supposed to be covering yourself with a righteous garment. Not only is it going, into that, but also you can really equate that to the housing situation, right? And it says, in that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So instead of asking for a spiritual house, for the Lord to build you up spiritually, you're asking for that new mansion, right? You asking the Lord to get another stimulus check, so you can put that in the bank, so you can, put that as part of your income. This new apartment, which is nothing wrong with, Jake getting, another apartment or whatnot. But right now, okay, through the spirit, you need to be happy with what you got, because different brothers, their living situations and their living arrangements aren't too ideal. So there's certain brothers, man, that they would love to stay in your quote unquote piece of shit, your piece of shit apartment. You know what I mean? A lot of you people in the world, you got 2 bedrooms, and it's only one person living in there, man. Meanwhile you got Jake, especially Issachar, Levi, hell, even Judah, staying in a 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. You got 3 Jakes on the couch, 1 Jake on the floor, Pops staying in the, sleeping in the kitchen if he's even there. The mom living in the 1 bedroom. The kids sleeping in the quote unquote computer room, other things like that. So right now you should just have the spirit of just being content. There's brothers, and that's part of this catching hell, man. You know, you may not be in the right housing situation, man. Hey, but hey, Lord's will, when the Heavenly Father comes, man, you gonna have all the housing you need, man. We're going to have these heathens build up, right? They're going to build up these different places, these different abodes, and then we're going to make them pay tribute. You know, you're gonna pay tribute to live there. You know, you're going to give your choices gold. You know, you're going to give your choices daughters. You're going to give your choices cattle. You know, and ever so often you're going to pay tribute. Okay, so really, we're going to own that. Okay, through the spirit power. Yeah, how about you now, Sean? Just like you devils, man. Basically, you own all this land, right? You just have people that get mortgages, right? Which where is a mortgage in the scriptures? You know. Anyways, so a federal judge struck down on Wednesday the national eviction moratorium, potentially leaving millions of Americans at risk of losing their homes. Yeah, man. So it's about to get serious out here, man. It's about to be a quote unquote real hot summer, man. All that, all these chicks, right? Especially the Judite women, hot girl summer. Ephraim, right? Hot girl summer. Okay. Levi, all right, hot girl summer. It's gonna be hot, all right. You know, you're gonna be out here with your kids. You're gonna have 4 kids, nowhere to go. All right, Jake's going through that every single day. You know, your living situation from day to day, it worsens. Right? Where I'm standing right now, it don't have no AC. Yet through the spirit, it's all good, man. Cause you got Jake out there in Brazil, Jake all over the world. In Brazil, you know, Chile, you know, different parts of Europe. You know, it's 96 degrees in the house, man. And you're sweating. No, just no nothing in the barrios, man. Nothing but death and destruction. So a lot of times, man, when you find yourself in a state in which you're like, damn, you know, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. You know, sometimes it's great to just, you know, realize that, hey, I got a roof over my head, I got food, you know, in my stomach. Okay, and that's sufficient. I'm going to get a precept for that. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 8. And what do you have about you now, Sean? And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Yeah, man. So, you know, that don't mean to stay in a you know, bad situation, but obviously, you know, you want to lift yourself up. But you know, there's certain brothers, man. You know, you're not in a good situation. You know, that don't mean that you're not one of the hopeful elect because you're not in your, you know, you're not in a 3-bedroom house sitting on 10 acres, man. You know, we're gonna get all that, man. We're gonna get even more than that, man. We're gonna have all the land that we want. All right. Let me start off on First Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. For godliness with contentment is great gain. Yeah, man. So as you're being content, the Lord is gonna give you certain things, man. Hey, as long as you put forward in the spirit power, how about Shemaiah Shine? Right? Seek the Lord while he may be found, you know, and continue to move forward and press forward in this campaign of salvation, man. You know, because sometimes, you know, when you're at war, you know, you get sick, man. You know, because for the most part, I normally don't get sick, but when I'm sick, I'm, you know, excuse my language, but I'm fucked up. You know, that's how you feel. But through the Spirit, you got to know that it can always be worse, and to be content with the things that you have, man. Jake don't have no time to call out. Jake don't have no time to be all right. You know, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I just, I was granted a little mini vacation, but now as I'm coming back, all right, as I'm coming back to work tomorrow, of course, felt sick all day when I woke up. And, the Lord really gets better. If not, you got weathered through the storm. It's like it. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. Yeah, man. So as we come into this world, we coming in naked, man. The Lord's will, we leave this earth, taking black shirt. And even if certain brothers pass away, Lord's will, you are risen up. In those last days, man. Lord's will. You're risen up. There's gonna be certain people, man, that upon dying, they're going to be risen up, man, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But just because you pass away doesn't mean that you're not of the elect. You can pass away and still be of the elect. Right? To be the elect is to be risen up, man. That's the ultimate rising up of you out of a lower state, being risen up into a great and marvelous estate, man. And that's what we hope for. Like it says, having food and raiment, let us be there with content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and ensnare, and to many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Yeah, a lot of these celebrities, there's all sorts of sick, there's some sick stuff going on in the houses, man. They got Cat Williams. They had a blackball Cat Williams. Cat Williams was saying too much, man. And that's because he didn't have that covering Cat. So the curses started really coming upon Cat. Cat was losing fights to middle schoolers. They got that video online of him fighting a middle schooler and losing. In the kingdom, he gonna be all right, now. But anywho, back to this. Housing advocates have said that the national ban is necessary to stave off an unprecedented displacement of Americans, which could worsen the coronavirus pandemic just as the country is turning a corner. I'll catch myself. They'll be trying to take page down and all that, man. And these two pages are still up. The election shall stand boldly and endure until salvation comes, which is the channel that I'm on right now. But they both got 2 strikes, And even if they got 2 strikes, it's through the Spirit. The Spirit is put on them, a few more, a couple more channels are going to be created, So property owners have criticized the policy. They say landlords can't afford to continue housing people for free, So let's see what E got to say about it. If you don't play.
A pandemic-related ban on evictions has been overturned. A federal judge ruled the CDC's national moratorium exceeds the agency's authority. The decision is certainly a victory for landlords who say they can't afford to continue housing people for free. The ruling could potentially affect millions of struggling Americans. A recent survey showed that about 18% of renters are not able to keep up with their payments. That's about 10 million Americans. A spokesperson
which has more like
for the Department of Justice
40%.
says it plans to appeal and that it will seek a stay of the decision. That would keep the ban in effect throughout the court battle. And I should note, this doesn't affect people in this 17 states that have their own eviction moratoriums. Those stand under state rules.
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what ones. What I don't know what 17 states.
When you realize your trading firm is more cost center than trading specialist, trade up to Schwab.
Look at E. Where's Jake? Where's Jake buying new homes, man? Look at Jake buying new homes, man. Man, you damn devils, man. You damn devils, you gonna get it, man. All right, seeing you all relaxed. All right, going through your little houses. All right, doing your little, doing your little mortgage apps. And who do they got? Who do they got preparing the paperwork? Of course, Jake preparing the paperwork, man. Made me sick, man. That's the curses, right? We're basically, and it says that in the scriptures, how we will build up vineyards, right, and not eat thereof, man. Let me see if I can get that. So like, I believe it's in Deuteronomy. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Yeah, so until our Lord comes back, that's what's going to happen. Jake is going to process the paperwork, and he is going to be, getting the houses, man. That's just how it is. Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, within the Lord shall lead thee. So that's why, they call us African Americans, right? Latino Americans, right? Native Americans, they call us all these things. They don't call us the 12 tribes of Israel, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 38. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. So we can't even enjoy the quote unquote time and presence of our people, man, because by the time this child is born, by the time this child is 5 years old, he's throwing up signs. I was driving the other day, and I seen a kid. He couldn't have been no older than maybe 5, 6. He was throwing up them signs, man. And I don't live in a particularly, just you know, GANG infested type of area. I live in a more, nicer area. So it's like Jake want to live in oppression. Jake is taught oppression from a very young age. But okay, it says, verse 39, thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Yeah, man. So not only, all the things that you built up, what I mean, but actual, vines too, actual fields, strawberries, blueberries, so and these other produce and things like that. You got Jake in the chicken factories, Jake in the cow factory, Jake everywhere. Every factory you got Jake in there, man. You know. Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. So yeah, we had our sons and daughters taken away from us during the times of our captivity, whether that was the Assyrian captivity, the Medo-Persian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, so you know, the Greek captivity, all these different times in the new Babylon, the new Babylonian captivity here in America. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, right? The children of Israel, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. So in order for you to even get a house, who has to approve it? He, you know. If you want to go get, hey, if you want to leave the state, let's say you're on, you know, you're on, probation, right? Let's say you're on probation. You can't leave the state according to who? You, man. You know, which I haven't been on probation as an adult. But I remember when I was a teenager, I was on probation, and that was one of the stipulations that you couldn't, leave the state. Now, at the time, you're coming up, you got a household with no money in it, so it's not like I was going anywhere anyways. But just in case there was an opportunity that arose, you're not able to leave, you're not able to go. And that's that. Who's saying that? That ain't the so-called Chinese man, the East Indian man, the Pakistani man, the Japanese man. You know, that's he. He is telling you that. All right, it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So at first he put the iron around our neck and destroyed us. Now you know, we are subject to mental slavery. Okay? We are subject to it mentally. All right? And it says, verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Yeah, we were speaking Hebrew at the time until they ran down on us, speaking about Eve. And the other nations had a hand in that also. You had these other nations taking us and exploiting us and sending us all over the place. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance. And who's that? Eve. There's nobody more fierce than Eve. Right? Who shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So he was whipping us as youngins, right? 3, hell, 2. By the time we're first able to stand up and start walking, you got us holding a bale of cotton, out in the sun. You can unrecognizable, lips all pink, you know, all sorts of, skin falling off. Do you think that they applied lotion or sunscreen on the slaves? No, man. He was just out there, man. Skin peeling, coming off, all sorts of, skin cancers and things. And it's you know, and the Wadi Al-Bashi shine for Jake being so resilient, man. Jake is resilient. So Jake was able to go through slavery, have, 100 lashes on his back and still live. That would kill the quote unquote average man, right? All right, even being sick, sometimes your whole body hurts. Everything on you, it hurts and it aches, even up behind your eyes, man. It hurts, it aches. Your fingers hurt, back hurts, neck hurts. Yet we were still in those fields, just like now, man. It's you traded a field for your job, ultimately. You know. So let me go back to this article. In the video, we still got to go to the slave house. A federal judge, Dabney Friedrich, struck down on Wednesday the national eviction moratorium, potentially legal, and I already read that. All right, well, it's likely. Leaving millions of Americans at risk of losing their homes 2 months earlier than expected. Oh, man. Right, the CDC and P has banned most evictions across the country since September. The protection was slated to expire at the end of January, but President Sleepy has extended it first until April, later through June. It's likely. Some 1 in 5 renters across the U.S. are struggling to keep up with their payments amid the thing. All right, now 1 in 5 in reality is probably more like 3 in 5. It says the states are scrambling to disperse more than $45 billion in rental assistance allocated by Congress. A spokesman for the Department of Justice said they plan to appeal the ruling. It also seeks a stay of the decision, meaning the ban would remain in effect throughout the court battle. Speaking of her daily briefing, all right, WH spokesperson Jen Psaki had said the Biden administration recognized the importance of the eviction moratorium for Americans who fall behind on rent during the thing. The recent study estimates that there were 1.55 million fewer evictions filed during 2020 than would be expected due to the eviction moratorium. So it clearly has a huge benefit. All right, hey, this gonna be, who let the dogs out? That's how it's gonna be out here, man. All right, Baja man. Who let the dogs out? It's about to get crazy out here. Unless he, approves it, then it's just gonna get pushed a little bit. But eventually, it's gonna come a time. Let me get that too. First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. Actually, I'm gonna start off at the top. Get all the meat off that bone. It's a lot here, but this is the only time, even if you feel it, quote unquote, like shit, man, this is the only time through the spirit, you feel good, even though you feel horrible, you still feel good, bringing out the words of Yahweh Shai. It's nothing, that we would rather do, man. Now, of course, sometimes you get caught up having to do different things, man, but ultimately, it's all about bringing out the word, man. That's all it's about, man, bringing out the word, man. The spirit, probably, Yahweh Shai. I'm just saying this to the spirit. For you younger brothers, man, maybe a woman doesn't want you to teach. Or maybe you think to yourself, okay, my job isn't going to allow me to teach. My family isn't going to allow me to teach. My friends aren't going to allow me to teach. Man, fuck them through the spirit, man. Continue to push on. Continue to push on through your how about Shemai Shai. He'll make a way for you, man. He's always made a way for his men, man. Never think that you are, out of here, man. Never think that you're completely done. Because what the Lord will do is He'll lift you up, man. You can't lift yourself up in this thing. You have to ask Yahweh Shemai Shai to lift you up. And He'll lift you up through the counsel of men, right? The counsel of men of Yahweh Shemai Shai. True men of Yahweh Shemai Shai. Okay, it says First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, we have no need that I write unto you. So yeah, basically, you know what time it is, man. Okay? For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall cometh as a thief in the night. So out of nowhere, it's just like being sick. Going back to the sick analogy, man. I was relatively fine. What? Yeah, yesterday kind of, But yesterday when I woke up, I didn't really feel all that bad. Right? Till about the middle of the day, then you start to feel it. But it can come up on you, man. That's just the Lord, man. Drink you some water, drink you some water, fast, be out in the sun, get a little sweat going. Luckily my job, a good amount of the time, you know, I get the opportunity to, be outside and, be, out in the air and having the sun hit you, you know. So that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes, the Yahweh Shai can provide that sunlight and get you right, man. That's why you see Jake back in the times of Egypt was a sun worshiper. Because there is power in the sun, but the sun isn't power, right? Who is making that sun burn so bright? Yahweh Shai. So we have to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shai. Not the damn sun, not a big ass ball of gas. What's a big ass ball of gas gonna do to help you in the condition that you're in? Or to help you even realize the condition that you're in, man? All right, Jake is lost. Jake, worshiping Anubis, Ra, and all that shit, which I don't know too much, about Egypt, but they taught us about Egypt in school, right? Osiris. I don't know too much about about Egypt, but they taught us about our captivity and teach us about Israel, man. Okay? It says, verse 3, this is the point I was going to. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So imagine a woman with child with no place to go. Okay, seeing a homeless pregnant woman, man, that shit is it's crucial. It's crucial. I believe that I've seen a homeless pregnant woman before, man. In my youth, and it messes with you, man. See, like, damn, And the Lord is cold with it. The Lord is cold with it. He'll have that child be born with all sorts of, abnormal body processes, and immune auto diseases, and addictions, and, hey, that's the terror of the Lord. It says, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief." And so we have to know what time it is, man. We don't need to be overtaken like a thief. Ye are all the children of light, speaking about the elect. And the children of the day, we are not of the night nor of darkness. So, these damn devils, they've made themselves to look like they're the children of light, but in fact, they are the children of darkness. They act like they are the princes of light. They are the princes of darkness. Right? Speaking about you, quote unquote, elite. Verse 8. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. Yeah, man. So in the daytime, he's sober there. That don't mean that, if the sun is out, you're not gonna be able to, enjoy a drink or whatnot. But for the most part, you don't really drink during the day, man. It's more of a night thing to unwind, you're around with, one of the brothers or some of the brothers. You might, drink a little bit with your woman, you know, or something like that. But for the most part, you're not just waking up and guzzling down, the drink, man. All right. Verse 9. For Yahweh hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. So yeah, we need to be reaching for that. As everything is falling apart, we have to reach for Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, read the end of this, and in the video to the screen. It says, how Biden's capital gains proposal may hit middle class home seller. All right, Biden's inherited real estate tax may impact more than just the wealthy. Biden's real estate tax plan may hit smaller property investors. So really, man, really, all this is meant to be falling down. This whole system. See, because he was meant to, was really meant to destroy. He wasn't meant to build up. All right, that part already came in the 50s and 60s. Even the early 70s. But just like it says in the Salakia, but just like it says on the article, the last time that they had a birth rate this low was like 79. You know, because Jake finally being able to kind of have quote unquote freedom and different things like that. So that means Jake popping, Jake out popping different women and all that. Because it was back in the 40s, the 50s. You get pulled over with a so-called white woman, you might get beaten to a coma. And even back then, even now, Jake get pulled over by 12, get the brakes beat off, then sent home. We're not gonna charge you. We're just gonna send you home. We all fucked up. You know. Anyways, it says housing advocates have said that the national ban is necessary to stave off the unprecedented displacement of Americans. Works in the pandemic just as the country is turning a corner. Researchers have found that allowing evictions to continue in certain states causes as many as 433,700 excess cases of the thing, and 10,700 additional deaths in the U.S. between March and September, before the CDC ban went into effect nationwide. At least two other federal judges have questioned the CDC's power to ban evictions, and landlords have criticized the policy, saying they can't afford to continue housing people for free. The article is basically ended. Go ahead and let me see if I can play this video. Yeah. Like it. Well, guess what? That's loading. I'll continue to read.
Americans have been struggling to pay for housing costs. In July 2020, an estimated 32% of Americans missed a rent or mortgage payment. That was up from 24% in April, 31% in May, and 30% in June. This trend is worrying experts that a wave of evictions may be coming once local.
Let me see, maybe I can lower for a second. All right, while that's doing that, we'll be down to verse 12. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 12. And we beseech you, brother, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. All right. We have to know our elders, man. Our elders have taught us everything we know, starting off with the elder apostles of the great millstone, which once again, double honors unto them, man. Okay. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men. So, all men of Israel. Now, of course, that can be applied, right? That ultimately that can be applied, to the other nations being patient. I don't mean just going, you ready to fight these other nations. No, man, tell them their judgment. But this word is not for them.
State and federal moratoria on forced removals expire.
The eviction process itself is a barrier to maintaining personal and public health.
Struggling to pay for housing in America is nothing new. In 2018, the Census Bureau estimated that 40.6% of renters were rent burdened, meaning they spent 35% or more of their monthly income on rent and utilities. A study by Harvard University's Joint Center for Housing Studies found that about a quarter of households spent more than half their income on housing.
They're frequently having to choose between paying for food or paying for housing. And the rent always eats first.
The urban
The rent always eats first. Oh, man. Yeah, man, which I don't know. What's going on with this.
Institute found that about a quarter of Black and Latinx renters.
Latinx. What is that? Latinx.
Surveyed didn't pay or deferred their rent in May 2020.
All right, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 16. Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks. So be thankful for your condition, man. Be thankful, hey, the one of y'all about to shine, making me sick. Because sometimes you gotta think about when you're not sick, man. And think about how good you got it. Sometimes it takes being, sick to realize, then it builds your immune system up, man. That's how you get hardened, And everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahweh Shai in Hamashiach Yahweh concerning you. Right, the Prophet of Israel. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying. Yeah, man. Okay, so don't try to put the fire out. You know, that Holy Spirit is a fire, man. It's a fire, man. Right? This fire is not prophesying, so you gonna hear certain things, man. It may be hard to hear, but you gotta accept it. Okay? Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. Abstain from all appearance of evil. So put yourself in a certain position. You never know. You know, this me feeling like this could be for something that I did, man. You know, for going off. You know, you never know. Which ultimately that's what it is. You know, that's why we're in the condition that we're in today. We went off. Man. All right, it says, in the very power of peace, sanctify you wholly. All right, so fully. You know? And I pray Yahweh, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. So to be sealed. When you have a pecan pie, you know, and it's sealed, it's got the tinfoil all on it. It's been triple wrapped, quadruple wrapped. You know, it's set apart. You know, you may have all the pies on the table. You're going to wrap that one up and put it in the refrigerator, you know, to preserve it, you know, to enjoy it later. Okay? Then when you take that pie out, you take 2/3 of that pie and you throw it away. And 1/3 of that pie is going to be what remains, man. You know, also that very small percentage of 144,000. That's what it's all about. Right? Like when you know you eat a really good meal, like you just devour it, you just ravage it. You know, that's how our Lord is going to do to His hopeful elect. Man, He's going to come. He is going to seize us. Okay, He's going to sweep us off our feet, so to speak. You know, faithful is He that calleth you, who also will do it. Yeah, so Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to do the things necessary to keep the hopeful elect hopeful. You know? Faithful is He that calleth you, who also will do it. Brethren, pray for us. And also pray for your brothers, man. Pray for your elders. You know, pray for the hopeful elect. Greet all the brethren with a holy kiss, which is with a holy embrace. Yahweh Shemel Shai B'Hashem HaKadosh Barakatah. You know, Yahweh Shemel Shai B'Hashem HaKadosh Barakatah. You know, verse 27. I charge you by the Lord that this epistle be read unto all the holy brethren, so the hopeful elect. The grace of our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach be with you. Amen. You know, so Lord's will, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, is with us all the way up to the end. Man. I'm going to try to play this one more time. If it don't work, we just end the video.
Compared to 14% of white renters.
The rents are like out of control. I mean, people can't even afford to live in these cities anymore, and these are people who have good jobs.
No pagué mi renta por cubrir todo lo demás y he estado sin dormir, pensando y pensando, what is going to happen when everything is opened again y se desaparezca la ayuda? What's going to happen? Am I going to make the same money as I was making before?
With the growing uncertainty over financial stability and the idea that mass evictions may be looming, how do evictions actually work? And could the U.S. cancel rent? From 2000 to 2002.
You know, just the Spirit allows, you know, this act of right. You know, I could go into a part 2 for this. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. All the praise, honor, and glory goes unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha-Rakah Kadash. And honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who read well and teach well. All right, and honors to those who are bringing out this word in sincerity and in faith. Yahweh Shai, Shai, Bahashem, Kadash, Rakatham. It's you sincere, you hopefully elect. You know. So last precept just ended. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, including a low birth rate, including them not being able to find housing, right? and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Right? So they hate us. These other nations, they hate us, man. Okay? They hate us. They have a deep hatred for us, man. Okay? And we, hey, man, and right back at you, to you other nations, man. Right back at you. Okay? Ain't no love for you heathens out here, man. You're gonna continue to get it. You're gonna continue to get it like how you need to get it, man. Alright? So Jake needs to get it how he lives spiritually, man. Continue to pray, continue to uplift brothers, man. Continue to study, man. Continue to get, just get it together, man. All right, that's something I've been really, thinking to myself about, studying more, you know, getting into more, doing more. It's all about doing more and more and more. You can never do enough for Yahweh Shemai Shah, all right? Because he has done an unlimited amount of things for us, man. So we have to be in the same spirit. We have to be in the spirit of him, you know? We have to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shah to give and to give and to give, right? And what are we giving our Heavenly Father? We're giving our Heavenly Father our bodies as a willing and determined sacrifice, man. All right, so Yahweh Shemai Shah by Shem Howard Kakadash rock a thumb into sincerely hopefully like brothers, man. And you few sisters, you Agwa who subscribe to the teachings of Yahweh Shemai Shah. You women stay in subjection, be up under your man, listen to your man. Right? If you're with a heathen, be up under that heathen man. They don't follow his heathen customs, but be up under him, man. All right, man. I don't mean he can force you to eat shrimp, crab, lobster. You know what I mean? But be up under him, okay? You'll get your reward. All right? Every person is meant to get their reward, even the unrighteous. They're gonna get their reward. The wicked, they're gonna get their reward. And oh boys, it's gonna be a reward that they're not gonna forget. The wicked is going to get slavery, man. All right, so Barakateh Hawa, Barakateh Hawashai. Barakateh Hawa, Barakateh Hawashai. Barakateh Hawa, Bahashem, Yahawashai, Baha, Rakah, Kodash. Barakatham, and to you sincere, we hopeful elect, such, Hawa, Hawa, Slakia, Shemai, Yashala, Hawa, Yahweh, Ahad. Right? Yahweh, Shemai, Yashala, Alamai Hawa, Yahweh, Ahad. May the Heavenly Father continue to bless you brothers, man. Continue to uplift you brothers, man. We in a time in which we are being more and more uplifted as the days draw near, man. The days are drawing near in which our Heavenly Father Son is going to return. Slakia. So for that hiccup, man. Your mind is all over the place. You get the sick fog, man. Okay, but the Lord knows our spirit, man. He knows that we're going to continue to push forward for Him. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemai Shah. So once again, stay strong, brother. Stay strong out here, man. All right. Hey, and abide the ball. This place is falling, man. And continue to pray for this place to fall. Shema, Yasha'Allah, Alamai Hawa, Yahweh, Ahad. Hero Israel power as well. I had to go ahead and correct it. Once again, Salakia. All right, so Shalom, brother. Shalom.